All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 Brothers Without Banners podcast covering Out of the Seven Kingdoms. I am Constantine James, and this is
Saint Wombo.
All right. Before we get into the bulk of this episode, general thoughts.
Pretty good. We're, for the most part, keeping the momentum. I will say, out of the 4, this is probably just my least favorite. I still like it, though. Need to clarify that for some people here. I still like it. I still think it's good. But I probably took more issue with this than any of the others. And for the most part, it's book stuff that is missing or changed that I was like, didn't like it. But yeah, we'll get into those specifics when we reach them.
Yeah, see, I just disagree, man. I love this entire thing. There are, how do I put this? The novella is better. Okay? Like, just point blank period. I'm okay saying that. This, at the end of the day, is an adaptation, and a lot of the themes that are very prevalent in George's story are either kind of missing or watered down or different in the TV show. But for what it was and for what it is, I still think it's incredible. And while there are minor things that you're going to point out that I'm going to be annoyed at you for pointing out, I'm going to know you're right. But I just, by the end of this episode, I was like, all right, I know what this is and I love it.
And like I said, still like it, still really appreciate it. I do have some concerns leading into like episode 5. We can get into that a bit later. Yep. But for the most part, like I'm pretty happy with it as an adaptation. It is a shame having freshly read the books a couple times and like kind of falling in love with them. And they're just, this episode in particular, there's a moment that I'll complain about it being gone. And I don't think it's minor at all. It's a small moment, but as far as like impact and like how cool it is as a payoff, I'm gonna riot if it doesn't show up at least later at some point. It's really weird that it's not here, but I'll be very upset if it doesn't show up later.
Is it the there for me moment?
Yes.
Yeah,
so you already know.
Yeah, so like I said, I've not to make you jealous, I know, but I have like a bunch of people that ask me like after the episode, oh, what are your thoughts? Like, oh, like what do you like? I didn't like this and like that. So I kind of hear all the criticisms within the first like 2 hours, and every time I'm either like, oh, you're being nitpicky, or it's like, ooh, you kind of got me. And I have this one friend, Lady Blackfire, who is like debatably more nitpicky than you, and she made that point immediately, and I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna have that point. So yes, I see where you're going.
Okay. Yeah, I guess to clarify, like the goal with like my analysis here and on my channel, I'm not trying to tell you like how to feel about things that I think are flaws or even things that I personally don't like. I'm just telling you that they're there. And if I do notice a flaw, even if it's tiny, I just point it out because I think it's probably worth discussing. But it doesn't mean like, even if I do have a bunch of little complaints, I'll tell you by the end, or even like I've already said now, I still think it's a good episode, but it does still have all these like little problems with it.
Yeah, so this is my favorite episode of the bunch. While I will probably agree with you on a handful of the discussion points, they just nailed so much of it. At the end of the day, like, I cannot deny who I am. Like, I am still a guy. When I see cool thing happen that fits thematically, I scream and yell and bang stuff, and that was this episode for me. So
fair enough. But yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Yep, me too.
So yeah, with the opening, definitely tricked me. I thought this was a sky full of stars, which is definitely the intention, because that's kind of Dunk's whole thing, sleeping under the stars.
This is my favorite opening of the 4.
Hang on. Is this broken? Okay, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
This is my favorite opening of the 4.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll 5 it and John.
And then the starry sky turns into the ceiling of his like dungeon cell, which really cool transition. Just kind of showing what he's lost basically. He's probably thinking like, I'd love to be out under the stars right now. And it seemingly all of that has come to an end. Homie's life might be over. He might never see the starry sky again. So
Yep,
really
I was
cool.
a little confused for the first like half second, and then I was just like, wow, that was a really cool transition.
Yeah. Also, I am inclined to agree. Probably my favorite opening, maybe just though because there's nothing to like kind of undercut
Yeah.
it. But
I really like the shot of him just sitting there. I don't really I don't know if I can tell you why. I just think it's very powerful to start off the episode with him just kind of sitting there all disheveled in this disgusting hole. Just good shot.
yeah, I like him just thinking about what he's done while he's in a jail cell, but it's like a twist in the sense that he did the right thing,
Yeah.
and now he has to think about how bullshit it is that he might lose everything for it.
Yep.
I like that little moment, him just petting the rat, like kind of gross, but it's also, I don't know, even in this state, he has like empathy for a little creature.
Yeah, it just shows that he has a good soul.
Yeah. And then Egg walks in with his Targaryen drip. It's funny, it feels like wrong seeing him in it, you know what I mean? Like, we're so used to seeing him with like his stable boy disguise. And I think it works really well because it kind of puts you in Dunk's shoes where it's like, holy shit, like, yeah, it's a little princeling, like, not at all, not at all what he's grown accustomed to.
But it also kind of feels odd, just in general, for the character. Like, Egg almost seems out of place in this look because we are not only so accustomed to the way he acts or the way he looks, but just the way he acts doesn't fit this vibe. You know what I mean? I actually made a video today talking about how Baelor's brown hair is incredibly important, not only to making him distinct in terms of cosmetic detail, but to the character. And I like that Egg seems out of place with this shirt he's got on. It just adds more to the character.
Yeah, a big reason that they have the super crazy fancy clothes is they're supposed to signal like, I'm superior, I'm above all of you. And that's not Egg at all. Like, Egg just doesn't view himself that way.
Yep.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about this?
I really like this scene. You?
So I will say at first, I'll just hear me out. Shut up. At first, it did bug me. But even before we had talked about it, I just kind of had to accept because basically in the next scene, like there's like a mini arc that Dunk has. But in the book, like Dunk kind of immediately has a lot more grace with Egg. And it's because he knows, like the book even says, like he knew what it was like to tell a monstrous lie to get close to something you wanted. So in the book, like even a younger Dunk has like enough wisdom and empathy to really not lash out at Egg because he just sees himself as no better. Whereas in this, like he acts a bit more like miffed and like he's been wronged. But I will say, it's just a difference. It's not necessarily a flaw, and he does come around by the next scene, which I appreciated, showing that with enough time he can get over his anger and he'll think about it properly. But also he's an older man. These guys arguably have a better friendship already than they did in the books. So there's like an added layer of like betrayal to it, I think, which I think also kind of helps justify it.
Yeah, I really like this scene. I think you can also just argue that in his head he's thinking about that monstrous lie. So I think it still applies. I really love this scene, especially the next moment we get.
Yeah. Also, they don't call attention to it like they do in the book, but there's no like cutlery with his food, showing that like yeah, like they wouldn't trust Dunk with a weapon. I don't know.
Yep.
Good. Kind of drunk. He didn't want to enter the lists.
I really like. Egg's actor is like blowing it away. Like he's like on the verge of like crying. You can tell, but he's also like kind of shrunk away, and he's trying to explain himself. I don't know. There's like this delicate balance of Egg trying to kind of do right by Dunk and like kind of face him basically. Like I get the sense that he doesn't really want to have this hard conversation with how he's like literally curled into a ball like in the corner away from Dunk. Like he's kind of scared to see how Dunk's gonna react. But he goes through with it anyway.
I think a great development that Dunk also realizes in this scene is that Egg is still a kid. Like at the end of the day, this is a child, and it's so great because him and Egg are kind of equals in many ways. Like Dunk is obviously his mentor, but Egg is still sharp. They really are a duo, and it's moments like these where Dunk is reminded that, okay, well, I do really love this kid and he's fun. Like, I am his mentor and I need to be an adult and let him be a kid sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Not doing anything wrong.
So, I like that Dunk says, like, was it Daron that told me you were a stable boy? And Egg, I think, was about to say, like, I didn't tell you I was a stable boy, but then I think he realizes, A, not appropriate, and B, he didn't tell Dunk that he wasn't a stable boy. You know what I mean? Like, he fed into the lie, like, very knowingly.
Egg knew, and I really like this moment for Dunk because he's essentially holding Egg accountable, so he kind of learns from his mistake, but then also backs off at the perfect moment.
Yeah, kind of like what you said, where he's kind of like low-key parenting in this moment.
Yeah. Of course you did.
And there's that element too, where again, like they had like a really sweet friendship already, one that definitely didn't exist in the same capacity in the book. So Dunk realizing like, oh, you just kind of needed me, especially after what's happened. He's probably at the point where he's like, did this kid use me? And in a way, yeah, like Egg used him because he wanted to squire. He just really wanted to go to the tourney. And that kind of just rubs salt in the wound. Dunk realizing like it was never about me. It was about like Egg's field trip.
Mm-hmm.
Great line. Absolutely great line.
Yes. Do you want to say it?
Say what?
I know you want to. So, in the novella, Baylor Breakspear actually goes to Sir Duncan the Tall, and wait, no, is it like that? I forget. Am I wrong here?
I thought Dunk was brought to him.
Oh, never mind then. I for some reason I thought Baylor went to him, but never mind.
I could be totally wrong. No.
I don't want to give you criticism. Keep going.
He meant no harm. I know that now.
Yeah. So I really like that scene because we get him in the actual cell, him being all angry when it's just them personally, but then more publicly, especially to the head of the Iron Throne, when it kind of matters more how Egg is perceived. He still has his back, and I perceive it as in that walk you have the, oh, I know what it's like to tell a monstrous lie.
Yeah, which, like I said, it's just a difference. There's nothing really I could say that like makes it worse or makes Dunk worse. If anything, like it's a bit more realistic. I will say it almost feels backwards where this Dunk, I assume he's older, just because that's kind of what they did with the show. They kind of bumped up the ages and they kind of casted people that looked a bit too old. So it's almost a little weird to think of like the 16-year-old version of Dunk as like a bit more thoughtful and like wise almost, whereas the adult actually has to like still think things through. Like
yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, this is where I think I hit it this episode. It is an adaptation, you know, like I think it's kind of on us for going in expecting one-to-one when has any adaptation ever been one-to-one, you know? And I'm just at a point where we'll talk about the rest of these scenes where I'm just appreciative that the soul is intact, because especially with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, but really especially Game of Thrones, the soul is just lost. It's just not like the heart of the story is not present, and even though there are some little changes, some scenes are out of place, some things maybe aren't as good or don't flow as well, the fact that it keeps the soul of the story intact, like it's all I can ask for at this point.
Yeah, I will speak in at least season 1's defense. I've spent enough time poring over it that whether it be by accident, I think they actually got most of like the thing.
You mean Game of Thrones?
Yeah, for Game of Thrones.
I mean later seasons, like especially after they jump ship with the source material. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I am suspicious of even like season 4. I think the corruption started a bit slow and a bit early. So, but I will say I can't
for another day.
Yeah, I can say with confidence season 1 pulls it off.
Yeah.
That was no kindness.
I almost wish that I don't know how I feel about this change, because they make it clear, Egg says, I had to go get Dunk, because, like, the castle is too far, but it gets cut off in this version, so we don't, like, the show watchers won't even know what he means by I had to. Which I kind of appreciated it, just because, like, Egg is a smart kid. The idea that he would knowingly kind of screw over Dunk, I don't love the idea that he would do that unless like it was necessary, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I also see. I agree with you, but I read it a different way. I read it as like he knew Dunk would act. Like he knew we could get to him quicker, and he knew Dunk would move. Like Baylor says that he's the heir to the Iron Throne. It wouldn't be easy for him to just essentially strike Arion in public. But even though it'll cost Dunk his life, it's less of a bad look for him to do it. And I like that there's that realization this episode.
Yeah, true. Or he's like, yeah, that's probably why he's like, it doesn't matter what you thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also just, again, more praise for Dexter, the little kid who plays Egg. Like, the actor playing Baylor breaks be like, this is a man. Like, this is a man in front of him that he's having to act with. And he's holding his own, and it's flowing cohesively. Just really good.
Yeah, he's done great. Honestly, he seemed like his I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, things are shot semi-chronologically, so he, like, was improving as it went. But I honestly didn't get, like, a super strong vibe from him. Like, he felt a bit stiff in the very first episode.
Yeah,
I feel like he just keeps getting better with every episode. Up. Yeah.
They're gonna leave us now.
See you will, Your Grace.
And that is an interesting thing for Egg to say, like, after he supposedly recognized, like, yeah, Dunk doing that. I guess maybe that's why. Like, he thinks Dunk is doomed now, so he's like, I wish you'd just killed him, because then you'd both be fucked over.
Mm-hmm.
How good a knight are you? How skilled at arms?
Sir Evan taught me sword and shield, and
I love this question coming from Baylor and being directed at Dunk, because I feel like by the end of the episode, there's kind of a role reversal where Baylor is saying, like, are you really that skilled at arms? And then Dunk, without realizing it, is going to be, are you actually a good person? Are you the kind of man? Are you the kind of man to stand for the innocent?
I didn't think about that. That's a great, good job. That's
Gone. I fear you have been cast as this robber knight, sir.
he's lying. I left that in 4 nights past. Prince.
I really like this inclusion. So this is something you kind of just have to, I think, reason out in the book. I don't think they make it as clear, but Dunk the Lunk himself points out, like, I left that in 4 days ago. So Daron saying, like, a robber knight kidnapped his brother and he's been searching for him is a blatant lie. It is so obviously a lie. And Makar is going to have to do this for his sons a couple of times where they are obviously in the wrong, and he keeps letting them get away with it. He keeps making excuses, even at the expense of somebody like Duncan. And we'll see how that works out for him by the end of the story.
He's like gentle parenting, but kind of puts his hand in his son. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gentle-ish.
Yeah.
Aaron, did you not have done the same?
So this is yet another big departure, and this is very brazen compared to Book Dunk. But I'll say I appreciate it at this point, because homie's like, my life is like basically over. Like he's already lost everything. So I think he has a lot of room basically to start acting out and be a bit more bold than he would otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. It makes a lot more sense for him to be more forward and pushy with his words now than it did in episode 2, I believe. And I also just have to I'm just going to concede this point. Baylor is a great character in the TV show. Baylor in the book is perfect, and that's the difference for me. Like that's just like the differentiate that I have.
I mean, I think by the time the season ends, because this is how I feel so far, and I don't see it changing with the last 2 episodes. That's just kind of my assessment for the whole thing. Like, show's great, the book is perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like not a dig at the show. It's more just like, how is Hedge Knight even that good? And George admits that that's probably his best work, just the first novella, which there is a strong argument to be made. And I'm just at a point where after 4 weeks of doing this and like breaking it down and spending so much time, I'm just like, okay, they're different. That's okay. Is the show as good as the novella? No, but that was a ridiculous thing to ask to begin with. And it's great. Like, honestly. And
I'll say,
in this moment...
I don't know if I'd say it's ridiculous. There are certain aspects you can't capture with film. But I'll reiterate the idea that, again, like the people making the show, they had access to the books. They've had years to absorb the books and like think about maybe better ways to do it. So when the show just cuts something outright and doesn't like replace it, I do think that's worth criticism. Even if it's like, yeah, I don't like that you did this, but you're still a great show. You know what I mean? Like it's worth. It's
It's worth pointing out, but when I say ridiculous, like, more as a viewer, especially just given everything we've seen, to expect that the TV show will be better than the novella when it's written by George R. R. Martin.
I mean,
that's what I mean.
Okay, I'll say I didn't expect that. I did not expect it to surpass like one of the best books George has made.
Not so. You get what I'm saying.
Do I?
I hope. Do you not?
I don't know. I guess I don't.
I'm just saying that as an adaptation, like, it was ridiculous to expect it to be just the novella. And that's what I think I was looking for a long time. And now that I've accepted it, that it's different, but it's still great, like, I'm just okay with it.
Okay, gotcha.
To protect the innocent.
Yet another good line to throw Baylor's way before we reach the ending. And that's, I'll say, one thing that I gotta give the show huge props for, especially in the moment where Baylor steps up. It got me to notice things that I hadn't noticed, like, in the book itself, which would be stuff like this, where he says, like, don't all knights take the same vow. Just there's a bunch of little moments in the book too where it harkens to the speech. It harkens to the fact that Baylor is going to be kind of put on the spot, and it's just neat. I think they found a way to communicate parts of Baylor's story and those subtleties a bit better in the show, which very happy to see.
I agree.
I did.
I really like Dunk just owning it. Like, he doesn't try to run. He's like, yep, fucking kicked him.
Also, we made the point he should be losing both hands.
I still need to go back and check. He
one-two'd him.
He one-two'd him. Oh no. I thought maybe he like punched and then backhanded him, but yeah, that's funny. I wonder if he just said hand, so it's funny no one else clocked it. That would be funny if Dunk said that. He's like, I hit him with both hands, sir.
We're not going to tell him that.
Do you remember when we were breaking this down? We were like, he looks a little mad.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's funny because now we know he is a little mad.
he is a little pissed. Because I think we thought it was that scene. We're like, is he pissed?
Yeah.
Funny. Dude, I love the music into the just A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Black Shot. It's great.
The title cards, I'm really liking them.
I love them.
I almost want to see, maybe we'll get it for the last one, but you know how all of them so far we've gotten like a black or white screen, whereas the first one, it was actually like on him like walking away from the tree. I hope we see just a couple more of those, because I do like the black and white, but I like them like...
him like walking into the sunset with Egg. Yeah,
that'd be great. Fucking talking about... We might... no, we gotta get rid of that.
Oh, come on, that's not... Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, bro.
Makar looks so fucking annoyed with this kid.
He's so pissed. Like, he's so disgusted with Arion at every turn. It's so funny.
And I like the idea too, because again, just Makar has so many opportunities where it's like, bro, your kids are obviously in the wrong. Like, just call it off. Tell him to fuck off. Be like, sorry guys, my kid had a temper tantrum and he broke someone's finger. And you know what? This knight was in the right for doing what he did. But Makar, he's complicit. He keeps going along with it, even though he has every reason to like realize that his sons are full of shit and that he should spare this innocent man. And he refuses to. And for all of like people's accusations of like only the good people having to suffer the consequences, Makar will learn his lesson one way or another by the end.
Oh yeah.
So this is another thing too, where again, this episode got me thinking about stuff even from the book that I hadn't thought about before, where Arion going into like the trial, so Dunk has the option where it's like, okay, you and me one-on-one, which I'm pretty sure that's the implication in both book and show, because his dad asks like, are you afraid to fight this hedge knight yourself?
Yep.
So it's not like Game of Thrones rules. It doesn't seem like the prince is allowed to just tag anybody in that he wants. He has to actually be the one to like fight for himself.
Yeah, so he has to fight for himself. To demand a trial by 7 has to be from the accuser. There's like rules to it.
But I didn't realize that a big reason that Baylor did that is because he's like, oh, you're huge. Like, if you demand a trial by combat, Arion could just withdraw his accusation and it could all end.
Yeah.
And this is just the first time that I realized, like, oh, like the silly, like, medieval rules, people are trying to, like, use them to avoid the tilt altogether, which is really cool to see.
Like summary judgment before a case gets to trial.
What the fuck is a trial of 7?
Yeah, so I mean that line's just stupid.
Oh, who's a nitpicker now? Look at that.
So Makar not knowing what a trial by 7 is, when like there's no way he isn't familiar with Targaryen history, and Maegor's trial by 7 is a defining moment in the Targaryen legacy. He should just know, and this was so like we need to explain it to the audience, so someone asked, and they picked the worst character. Like out of all of the people here, Makar and Baylor are not the ones to ask that question. Like, why not just make one of these two guys ask, you know?
Yeah, or it's also just extra awkward because it's his son. It's his dipshit asshole son being like, oh, I know of the trial by 7. And meanwhile, like, his father is like, what the fuck is that?
They could have had to have Dunk ask. If he didn't know, but he knows.
That's how it works. He's like, what the hell is that? And then Makar, even it's so funny because in the book, Makar's like, don't play a fool. Like, like the idea that it's obvious, like everyone knows what it is. So it's so funny.
That's right. He does say that. He does say, don't play the fool.
So it's so funny that it's him of all people being like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's just that, like, he says it so forced too. You can tell. It's so stupid.
It's a weird choice, but whatever.
If it was the Endos. I'm sorry, Your Grace. The old man was never much for
That's funny though.
I do like, as much as like, not, I don't know. He's just a good character. I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun like watching Makar and like
I agree.
listening to him. But if I met him in real life, it'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid to face this hedge knight alone.
So yeah, so and that's just an interesting detail where it's like, oh, like the royalty have to participate, which again, it's just interesting to think about because like watching like Game of Thrones and like reading about like Cersei, how she's like, oh, I'll just get the mountain to fight for me. You just it's kind of cool to think about because so much in Westeros stays the same throughout history. So actually like seeing like the laws change is just, it's kind of neat.
I just really appreciate Makar calling him out for just being a little bitch. It's like, are you serious right now? Like you're my son. You're the blood of the dragon. I've trained you. You're really scared of this random tree sleeper? Are we that ass? He's just so confused and disappointed in this moment. It's great.
Yeah, I do. It's tiny. I do prefer the book just because here he's saying like, oh, are you afraid to fight Duncan, like this giant? Are you afraid to fight him by yourself? Whereas in the book, it's like, oh, are you afraid that like it will reveal the truth of your accusation? Like he's hearkening more to like the idea that Arion is guilty. Whereas here, it's more like, oh, you little bitch, you scared of this man.
Okay, that's fair. It's not really a criticism, just a change. It's fair.
Yeah, it's small.
They don't want to speak to me of honor, boy. This is fucking nonsense. Is it?
And I like that he has that. He says, don't speak to me of honor, boy. It's like,
yeah.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that unless you had a pretty good idea that your son was full of shit?
Yeah. I also just like the this is fucking nonsense line because it really is. It's just, he has the truth of it. This is all so stupid. What Arion does is stupid. What God, this is such a stupid situation to be a part of because his son's an idiot.
Yep, but again, like, he's the father. Like, he has more authority. Like, clearly his son like heeds his word to some degree. Like, he fucking like drags him out of the room later. If he wanted to, Makar could end all of this. But it would come at the cost. But it would come at the cost of his image. So he's not going to.
That's true. Yeah, but he could. Like, theoretically, he could put his foot down and be like, "No, you are my son. I'm not asking you."
Yeah, no. If he wanted, he could just. That's the thing, and like that's kind of the difference between Makar and Baylor. Baylor, who at the end of this episode says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do the right thing," and Makar, who seemingly knows the entire time that his sons are full of shit, but he keeps enabling them. He goes so far as to defend them during the trial, which in a way, like, good on him. Like, you probably should do that for your kid. But at the same time, like, he should just put his foot down. He should be like, no, my son was in the wrong. This man deserves, if anything, to be rewarded. But yeah, he just can't. He can't eat that. So bad things happen.
Yep.
You were guilty.
And that's another one where that's Makar's line. They gave it to Arion, and I do just kind of, it's tiny, but I wish it had still been Makar, because he has to eat his words later.
I guess that's fair.
Is that you? You're alive?
Bro, just hiding behind the tree.
Yeah, homie, I imagine he just fell asleep. Then he heard talking to the horses.
He's like, oh, I'm just gonna spawn here real fast and wait.
Yeah, so this is a little change, but I like it. I think it enhances their friendship quite a bit, where in the novella, Dunk is just walking like through the tourney grounds, and then he happens to hear his horses, and then he runs over, and they're like parked outside the Fossaway Pavilion, and then it's like, oh, okay, like the Fossaways grabbed his horses for him. But here, like, he didn't move the horses to the pavilion, presumably because he wanted Dunk to be able to find them. He just went and puppy guarded his horses in the rain, which is baller move.
Raymond is definitely one of the better side characters from book to screen. Just really well done.
Yeah, I like him quite a bit.
Are you hungry? No, not really. Come on.
Another really cool little moment where he's about to say thank you. Raymond cuts him off by asking, "Are you hungry?" And we know in episode 1, he's like, "You hungry?" And Dunk said, "Always." And here Dunk's like, "No, I'm not that hungry." And Raymond's like, "Yeah, whatever. Come with me. We're gonna get some food anyway."
Yeah, they're just good friends, and I really like that Raymond recognizes and appreciates the goodness in him. Just a little bro hug of like, "Thank God you're alive," you know?
Yeah, and I think it was very intentional. This is like kind of his closest buddy. I guess Lionel shows up a little bit, but this is like his truest friend. Yeah, besides Egg, he's got, I guess, even Egg included, but the people he spends the most time with, they're always like a lot shorter, and it adds to like the illusion of his height.
I would also just say that like Raymond in many ways is kind of like equal to Dunk, because he's kind of like, he's an underdog and he's from a lesser house or a lesser branch of the Fossaway house, so they're definitely kindred spirits. And him and Egg are more mentors, like mentor-child relationship, while they are friends. This is true, like, we are equals.
Yeah, he's just two bros.
Yep.
That's fucking mad.
I don't know. I think
Great
it's...
line.
I don't know. The idea that he's like, that's fucking mad, like, it's actually insane.
Yeah.
It's like, surely people talk to their horse. Come on.
Yeah.
Cool thing to throw on Raymond's face, since we know by the end of this episode he will be a knight.
Yeah, I like the scene overall. I think Stefan does a better job in this scene than his introduction in episode 1 to be more faithful to the book.
Yeah, honestly, it's still fairly different. I was pleasantly surprised by this, because in episode 1...
It's better, though.
I don't know if I'd say... it's just different for me. In episode 1, though, I was worried, because he's just like, he comes out the gate like being an asshole. Whereas like in the books, he's a lot more covert. Like, he kind of roughs up his cousin, but then he's like, "Oh, you tall man, like, come fight me." And he's just a lot more friendly in general.
But this is what I mean. He comes off more covert in this scene. Isn't that what you were looking for?
Yes, whereas that's what I was going to say. I was worried, like, it wouldn't be convincing, because in the book, I fell for it with Dunk. Like, I experienced the same emotions Dunk did when he was betrayed by Sir Stefan, because I actually bought it. I was like, oh, damn, like, this guy's actually coming through. Like, he's going to help out and get some... I was like, it's not going to be convincing with this guy, because he's already an asshole, and his like, cousin keeps talking about, like, how dishonorable he is. He convinced me. I was like, this is pretty good.
It got Katarina, I can say, because she obviously hasn't read the novella, and when he betrayed Dunk, she was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I think they struck a like really good balance where like, and especially adding the part where he's like complained about Targaryens, and then he throws that in here too, where he's like, "Yeah, fuck the Targaryens, we're sick of them." I was just surprised, because I was like, okay, I could totally see this tricking people.
Yeah, it feels very like, listen, maybe we're not best friends, but fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. And then Yeah, and he drops a hint, like, and he does this in the books too, but he lets Dunk know mid conversation. He's like, "Oh, it's all about the glory." Like, he without realizing, he says like, "I'm after glory." So it's kind of a hint, even in the moment, that like he's not being altruistic.
His morals aren't sound.
Yep.
Why would that pain you? I don't doubt that, but the
I do like that.
Yeah, just a good little moment.
Why would that pain you?
there's always more glory.
Yeah, right there. He's like, when I find myself without the answer is always more glory.
I also just want to say, this isn't really about the episode. The fact that, I mean, obviously the Targaryens have a lot of history. 300 years is obviously a long time. The Starks have 8,000, dude. 8,000.
All right, we got a Stark propagandist in here. I forgot.
It makes you think, like, do they have some type of pact with the others? Is there something going on there? Did they let it rule for 8,000 years? I don't know.
They're definitely on some goofy shit.
100%.
I can't claim to understand the old gods, but...
Good for you, I have some friends you that.
So he mentions Lionel. I thought it was a little weird that after everything we did, like, Dunk didn't bother going to Lionel. It kind of makes a little bit of sense with like them kind of establishing he's not reliable or that he doesn't care about Dunk's plight, but
we're gonna get to that scene when it happens. But when Lionel Baratheon declares for Dunk and just says the same line for the book, I was just like, yeah, we didn't need all those other scenes, did we?
Yeah, it's just we'll get into it. I got a bunch of things to say about Lionel, but I'll save. Honestly, I gotta save that for like the last episode. Same thing with like, because there's still time for them to sneak stuff in that seemingly has been cut, but we'll see.
Let's figure this is what I deserve. Doing what you were supposed to do. For not knowing my place.
This is a great line.
Yeah,
great line.
Really, this is a great addition too. It's not in the books.
Yeah, not knowing his place, just further proving that he isn't a true knight, that he's been lying, and it just ties together with his theme in the books of like, am I to blame? Is my dishonor for lying causing all of this? Just so good.
Yep, and yeah, just the idea him trying to shoot for more too, not just the idea that he's lying, but the fact that he came to this tourney looking for a bit more out of life. And he's like, I just shouldn't have bothered.
Know my place, yep.
It's your fault to know you've left the castle.
And I really like that too, because it shows too why Dunk was so upset. He really thought Egg just wasn't going to come back. He's like, yeah, like, he's little royal princeling. He got what he needed out of me, now he's back at the castle. So I like how touched he is that Egg shows back up.
He's very bitter in the cell at the start of this episode because like he feels he's been betrayed by his friend, that he's lost his friend. In this moment, it's like, oh wait, you're serious. Like you actually want to be like friends, like you want to be partners. It's just a great moment.
Yeah.
Right this through your neck.
I will say this was like, whoa, Dunk's going crazy.
Because he but honestly deserved at this point for the mental state he's in. He thinks he's dead. He knows there's nothing worse that can happen to him. He already has the trial by 7. Who cares?
If there was any person to like go ballistic on, like besides like Arion himself, it would be Daron.
Yeah.
This asshole who's just it's such a good like, because it kind of shows you have Arion who feels slighted, and then he goes out of his way to like, you know, try break the finger of like a puppeteer, which is even worse in the book because it's an actual finger puppet. So he's like purposefully trying to ruin her life, whereas Daron, he kind of does the same thing, but it's just to like get out of trouble with Maekar. Like it's so incredibly selfish. He just casts Dunk as like an evil person who by all means like would be found and killed as soon as like they discovered him with Egg. And he just does it to get out of trouble with his dad. Like it's so fucked up.
It's great. I also like how broken he is, as we're gonna see in these next few minutes.
Yeah, and you start to feel a bit of sympathy for him because in a way he's better than like someone like Arion. But like I said, it kind of shows both sides where there's like the intentional harm done by royalty and then like the gross negligence, and it kind of shows how both can be completely like destructive.
Yep.
My father's gonna join.
I do love Raymond just be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's crazy.
70.
Not too loud.
And even then, like, Daron is just like he's chiller, he's more polite in some ways, But it's like the absolute gall to ask the man who you've put in this situation, like, hey, just knock me out and like don't do it too hard. Like don't make it hurt that bad. It's like, you fucking dumbass. Like if I see you on the field, I'm hitting you as hard as I can.
To me, with this character, I really like this character because I just really love dream sequences in A Song of Ice and Fire and in general. And you can very much tell the dragon dreams that he has are ruining his life. And I think Dunk can kind of tell that as well, which is why he goes easier on him.
Yeah, and it takes him time, but he'll like soften as the conversation goes on. But like I said, as crazy it is that he like actually held a knife to his throat, it's fairly believable. And of all the people that Dunk would do it to, like Daron just doesn't help himself at all. He is
for sure.
He like just everything about him should piss off Dunk when he first meets him. I do like too how, so this is why. Never mind. I was just gonna say, I like how Maekar commands the other three to fight for his son. When Aerion said, and in the books it's given to Maekar, but a Targaryen tells him like, oh, if it's a just cause, like good men will like come forward to fight for it. And it's just kind of funny that like half their team is filled by people who are forced
have
to
no
do
choice.
it, basically.
Yeah. And then everyone picks for Dunk. Yeah, this is we'll get to that at the end for a light criticism and just analysis. I have more to say on that.
Okay.
And you won't kill Daron. Told he'd fall down.
I really like that too. Egg just further establishing he really doesn't care if Aerion dies. Like he's wise enough to understand that he's a piece of shit, and he's like, well, you won't hurt my dad, he'll be protected, and Daron just told you he'd fall down. And I like it as a detail too, because like I said, Dunk would have a good reason to like even seek Daron out and maybe like kill him on the field, but because Egg says this, I totally buy that Dunk's like, well, fuck, now I can't.
To me, it's also a sign of just the fact that one of the 7 fighters isn't actually going to fight. It's like, okay, well, this is hopeless. Maybe there's a chance, and that kind of feeds Dunk.
Yeah, gives him a bit of hope, which I do like. I like that this episode kind of serves as like the darkest hour for Dunk's story. Yep. I'll say maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I'm being too nitpicky. Egg says that very calmly. I almost wish like a bit more emotion creeped out while he was doing it, but that could just be me.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, then he pick himself an apple. It'll be a deal safer.
That's such a funny line, bro. I actually laughed out loud when he said that.
Yeah, it's Daron. I don't know. Daron just has like a very chill vibe to him, even though he's
so likable. He's so likable.
I don't know. I feel very mixed about him, where it's like I feel like I could sit down and like have a chat with him and like, you know, share a beer and like it'd be chill, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be like Dunk. Like if he did something stupid that like jeopardized my life and then was like super chill about it, like, oh, sorry, just me being me, I'd probably hate him, which is why, like, I said,
agreed.
I feel very mixed. He's got some good lines though.
Dead dragon.
So here Daron explains his dream to Dunk, and this explains why he freaked out when he saw him at the inn earlier, and possibly why he told the lie. This is something that always kind of threw me, where it's like, I wonder if Daron, I don't know, I just wonder what he actually thinks of Dunk, where he's like terrified when he first meets him, he accuses him of being a robber, but then he comes over to like kind of warn Dunk. And my read of this has always been, this is him like explaining to Dunk, maybe he just wants to be understood a bit better, but he's explaining it to Dunk, and then he's making clear, like, I'm scared that you're going to, like, I'm scared I'm going to die, and I really don't want to die tomorrow.
I also saw it as just a little bit of guilt creeping in, because he says, like, he is a pathetic man, and just kind of explaining his actions, and just giving Dunk fair warning to what his fate might be, and whatever that will be, you know?
Yeah.
They better not mess up the scene where this plays out. That's all I'm gonna say.
They better not, but we'll see.
I will be fuming.
we shall see. Also, I hope one day we get like some kind of vision in the live action shows where like they try to capture like a dream or
Why are they so scared to do it? I don't understand.
I'll say it's gonna be really hard with live action, but I think you and I would both agree, like an animated Game of Thrones, like especially like an Arcane style, where you could do like we just got done covering episode 2. You know, all the trippy visuals at the start of episode 2 with the wizard.
Yes.
We could do a bunch of shit like that, and it's always gonna be easier and probably look better animated than it would live action.
You know what I heard someone say, one of my friends on TikTok, and I just sat there and I was like, God damn it, why did you say that? He says he wishes they opened up a Night of the Seven Kingdoms with a dream of the dragon laying on top of Dunk, the way it's described, and then it cuts to him burying Sir Ardlin. And that's how you open it.
I'll say, so when they talk about this one, like, there was a giant dragon, it had fallen on top of you, but you were alive. Like, I think that might be part of the reason where it's like, oh, we'd have to make a giant dragon just for this short sequence where
I know, but it'd be still worth it.
It would be, but they never would. Be like, we can't animate the dragon unless the dragon is like fighting another dragon.
Yeah, we need to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. And that's why, again, just if it was animated, it wouldn't be like crazy resource intensive. It would just be like animating another sequence.
Yeah, this is a little side tangent, but I told someone the other day about how Jaime sees the ghost of Rhaegar, and they were like, what? I was like, yeah, you gotta read the books.
Dude, the crazy shit like Dany sees in like the House of the Undying, it's so night and day. It's so funny comparing it to the show.
Yeah.
Did I kill it?
And that's like the one redeeming thing Daron does, that even in the book I was like, oh damn, like our Targaryen like straight up acknowledging like my lie has cost your life.
Yeah,
and like sorry about
again,
that.
I see him less as evil or bad and more as just like genuinely broken by these dreams and like prophetic dreams that he can feel that he just can't understand. Like he's more mentally ill than evil to me.
Yeah. And honestly, probably, I guess I don't know enough about him, but if the idea is like, oh, he drinks not just because like family bullshit, but maybe he drinks because he is just bombarded by visions 24/7, I'd have a lot more empathy for that. Where it's like, oh,
I read it as mental illness personally.
Okay.
Into some.
I like that it's Tanzel's words echoing in his head as he like comes to the site, where I imagine the way he's thinking about it is like, this is like where my life changed. Like, this is where I made like that one decision. And right now he's like low-key regretting it because he's like, well, I'm a fucking die now. And he's thinking of the words where it's like, you are no knight, you are Florian the Fool.
Yeah.
And it's just
agreed.
Yeah, it's like he just feels like an idiot for doing the right thing. And it's like, oh, maybe that's how you're supposed to feel. Maybe doing the right thing is really hard and scary, and sometimes
maybe that's the theme of the story.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's nice.
Maybe, but I hear themes didn't really make it into this show, so couldn't be. Once again, so this is a really cool change where you have a very similar moment in the book where he's listening to the tourney as he's in the cell, and one of the lances snaps, and it reminds him of the sound her finger made, and they've kind of repurposed it to pay like unlatching this thing, and the crack like lines up with it, and once again it puts you in like Dunk's head where he's thinking about it.
Yeah, and since we're at this scene, I'm just going to start with the glaze of it. I love this scene. Oh, it's so good. You?
I like it. I like it quite a bit.
You don't love it though.
I don't love it.
All right, continue.
I like it a lot. And this is the lowest Dunk gets in this episode, and I like that just the last blow he takes is, oh, the girl I saved, like, can I see her again? It's like, nope, she's gone.
She's gone. All this was for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, busted. I've made you a new one.
So his acting here is fucking great, because Dunk, when he first sees the shield, like, he just admires, like, holy shit, like, it's such a good painting. Like, she did such a good job. But then he very quickly starts getting, like, kind of doom and gloom again. And without the inner monologue, he captures that perfectly with his performance, where he's like...
the eyes.
Yep, he's just like, whoa.
You see, like, tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, that's awesome. But then, like, he starts to reflect on it, and then he gets in his feels.
So you don't love that moment?
I do. I mean, I love that moment, yeah.
Okay. Because, like, It's great.
It is great.
Because what we've talked about for 4 weeks straight, how one of the problems of the economic issues in this world and our own world is how very often the little guy will climb on top of the other little guy to get a little higher, and that's the moment of Steely Pate doing the exact opposite.
Yep. And there's been a lot of like exchanges throughout where, you know, Dunk's been tossing people coppers. He gave Tanzel 2 coppers. Like we have pretty good reference for how like, you know, how like cheap it would be, you know, if anything actually costed a copper. And yeah, after haggling with the same person, for him to turn around and be like, yeah, I upgraded your shield basically, and pretty much for free.
For free.
Yeah, like when he says copper, it's like just kind of this idea of like an exchange of goodwill. And I don't know, it's very sweet.
It's also just sorry, you go.
You're gonna hate me. In the book, it ends the same way, and funnily enough, this was like one thing that I kind of wanted to see change, where I was like, I'd be so curious to see Dunk's reaction. And we don't get to see his reaction this time either. Like, damn it.
well, in the book, yeah.
No, I agree, but I think the scene just also speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It's the idea of, in this world, while it may not seem like in the short term, people do recognize good, and they do value it.
Yeah. But yeah. I do like them putting everything away, like the loud thuds with like the wood, showing that like room is being cleared for the real game now. Like we're done with the tourney.
Yeah, just the seriousness of the shot. Like, oh shit, doom is upon us.
Yeah, and goddamn, the sunset colors, like they look so good. Like with how like dark it actually is. Like you can just see the silhouette of the tree.
Yep.
Okay, so Harding getting his leg broken, joining anyway, like that's a badass move. Like would be in so much pain, but definitely wants to pay back Arion a little bit. I don't know, for the most part, I'm happy that like we still kept in like Harding's badassery, but we still kind of gypped him. I wish that of all the characters, I kind of would have preferred it being Harding that got a bit more development.
I agree, because he's such a charming character. With that little bit you get, he's just such a badass. And it is sad, like Dunk's whole crew, I wish got a little more. I wish they gave a little more scenes just to everyone, just to further characterize them and flesh them out. Even like one scene with each of them would have done a lot. It's kind of sad that we got the poopy scenes and not those, but I guess
honestly,
I guess that's me criticizing. Look at that.
Well, I'm genuinely surprised we didn't, because we snuck in a little scene for Ryan or Robin Rosling. I don't actually remember his full, or Ryan. He's got a weird name. Eye patch guy. He got a little intro. Lionel got a bunch of fucking material.
Like, we could have taken the rope pulling scene or the tug of war and given it to the Beesbury. You know?
Yeah, and that's another.
And I would have been like,
Beesbury is just here, like
he's just on. He literally just looks like an NPC.
I don't think he even says anything in this scene. I think we hear his name later.
I can't lie to you. I didn't even notice him first when I read the book.
He's just fucking standing there menacingly.
I always knew you meant trouble.
Cannot thank you enough.
I do like that little line where he's like, I always knew you meant trouble, harkening back to their little moment where he was sussing him out.
Family.
It's also just, it's just weird though that he actually had a relationship with one other knight and he didn't attempt, like, we don't see Dunk go to talk to anybody. He just trusts Sir Stefan to do everything for him. And it's kind of weird, especially with he knows Lionel.
Yeah, you would have thought he went straight to Lionel and then Lionel grabs everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, that could have made, like, imagine he goes to Lionel and he's like, dude, you don't need to ask. Like, I'm Lionel, I'm the last ring of the Thorn. If I ask people to fight, they'll fight.
Yeah, Lionel's like, I got a whole ass posse. Just grab the boys from high school.
He's like, dude, I could get 20 people. I'm going to have to hold an auction here.
So I like Egg's just fucking randomly playing with an axe. And Dunk is in his armor, which I'm just gonna say it. There's a really sweet little moment in the books where it's Pate and Egg tending to Dunk, and I don't know, it's kind of his humble roots personified, where typically someone would have like a grown-ass man like tending to them, and he has both generations. He's got the old blacksmith and he's got like the young prince.
Yeah.
Just literally everyone's man, like everybody's hero.
I'm really hoping they add it into the next episode or whatever they do it. But he is the people's champion, and I'm hoping that they show that.
Yeah, there's a really cool moment that is, it should have just been in this episode, like timeline wise. So I'm really hoping they shuffle it somewhere. But
they are for me. It just like, oh, it's so good.
It's a beautiful moment. And yeah, there's like we talked about it. There's other characters who like kind of belong in that moment, I feel. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, dude.
Crazy good armor. It threw me though, because I was like, oh, like I didn't know they had like that kind of money at the Fossaway house.
Cool. It's incredible. This is my favorite armor in the show.
I wouldn't go that far. It is really cool though.
Dude, it might be. Come on.
I'll say the fact that it's Apple armor and like it looks that good is insane. Yeah. I'm just a little partial to like the Targaryen shit.
Yeah, I got you. But other than the Targaryen armor, it's incredible.
Yeah. It like you said though, it did make me wonder like, oh, like what do you even need a lordship for? Like
bro got this bro got this smelted overnight with Arion's money.
That'd actually be so funny. It's like, I've actually made this Apple armor for my most loyal Fossaway.
The disgust in Raymond's face, it's just so good.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, kind of reminds me of the plumber thing. Also, we got a good comment where someone said, yeah, like the plumber thing, we don't get to see how like it would pan out if Dunk like would accept it or not. But in a way, we get to see him reject it because he chooses to save Tanzal. Like the idea being, Dunk actually had like a pretty good prospects, and he still threw it away to save an innocent person.
That is true.
And here, it's kind of mirrored by him saying, like, I know great men who have traded their honor for far less. And it's just like, do you, though? Were they really great men if they did that? Because here we have Dunk, who refused to make that trade.
Yep.
Another thing, too. So, this is what I was talking about, where, like, the trial rules, like, I was thinking about them more than I had before. I didn't realize with Stefan's betrayal, I think, like, he didn't expect to have to fight, because he's like, oh, I just switched sides at the last minute. It is so deliberate. He literally waits till the last minute. I switch sides at the last minute. Dunk doesn't have enough people. He gets killed. I don't even have to fight. I'm just a lord now.
Get away with it.
Yep, but no, not today. Great moment for Raymond. This is great. I do love this moment. And I like the little touch they had with Arlen showing up, or the ghost of Arlen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Raymond.
And I like to we've maintained this moment where in both book and show, like Lionel clearly is like, oh, he realizes through this that Dunk is bullshitting.
Yeah, and then it's the fact that he so quickly just does it for him, just the respect.
Yep. And I think, yeah, him covering for Dunk definitely makes a lot more sense here because they're friends. Whereas in the books, like, it literally says, like, Lionel shoulders past him. Like, he's almost kind of annoyed, like, oh, you fuck. Like, he puts it together, and he still steps into Knight Raymond, but he's like, oh, you little liar.
This scene is tough, bro. This scene is tough. Like, come on.
Yeah. I like the angles that they choose, where they kind of have like the POV of both of them, the guy looking down and the guy looking up. And here we have it reflected where Dunk is in the, like, he looks like he's almost in the to be knighted position.
Yeah.
And then we get Arlen. What's your interpretation of this little shrug that he does?
Let me see it and I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
No, I just wanna.
So Duncan,
this to me is like, it could be many things. The first interpretation is him just being like, with his knighthood, I don't know. Like he just never knights Dunk. But then it's also could be Dunk's subconscious, how he feels to Arlen would react, kind of like, well, you made your bed, now you got to sleep in it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one thing that I wondered is like, is he wondering still, like, were you gonna knight me? Because I'm wondering that. Arlen, were you ever gonna knight him? And Arlen's like, I don't know. And I like it because you could almost buy that maybe Arlen wasn't sure if he wanted to knight him, but also Dunk just doesn't know. So it makes sense that the ghost of Arlen would just kind of look at him cheekily and be like, why are you asking me? It kind of reminds me of the the Gusteau ghost in Ratatouille.
Oh, yes,
where he's like,
yes.
how would I know? I'm a figment of your imagination.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, Ghost Arlen doesn't know.
Against 7. I'm afraid it is not permitted.
And yep, Arian's so quick with that. You can tell that's what he wanted. He's like, oh, and he says, I'm pretty sure Stefan even said like Arian wouldn't have given me a lordship otherwise, which is like, oh, like either like they colluded directly, so they both knew like, oh, you're gonna pull a fast one at the very end, and then we don't have to fight at all. So Arian's like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
If you, my lord.
Also, crazy bullshit system. Just
such bull.
like it can be easy to forget sometimes when you're so used to Westeros, but just the idea that like, oh, you couldn't find a 6-person, like
the gods have smited you, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, literally less than like 24-hour notice, like you need to assemble your team of Avengers.
It's like, oh, we cannot wait until, like, what if my boy's just taking a shit? Like, can you give him a second?
Yeah.
Or the gods smite him with poop in that moment? I'm surprised Aaron Parker didn't do that.
Yeah, well, and you know like, if for whatever reason the royalty didn't have enough people, they'd be like, well, we wait until we have enough people. But Dunk doesn't get that kind of privilege. And this is one of the best moments in the books and naturally in the show. So it does do quite a bit for this episode. But just want to harken back to the very beginning where Dunk says like he doesn't know the words. And Dunk thinks he's not very good with words, which is it's nice to see this payoff where his words are basically what save him.
Yep.
A knight defends the innocent. That's all I did.
And for all the talk of like Dunk being a lunk, like here he is crystallizing in just the moment, like on the spot, what it means to be a knight. He says he taught me to be a good knight, not just sword and lance, but honor. Like,
I think this speaks to, you said just a few seconds ago, Dunk isn't necessarily good with words, and he says all the right things, and just because he's not trying to be good with his words, he's not trying to be fancy, like he is just speaking purely from the heart, going off of pure instinct. He doesn't have the capacity or time to formulate a lie or what would be the best thing to say in this moment. Like, he's just putting everything out there, and that is recognized.
Yeah, and it's just Dunk. Just for the 100th time, like hard countering the world. People that just aren't accustomed to this, especially in Westeros. So it has a lot of impact.
And fight with me.
It's another good addition where he's like, he wasn't my, like, I followed his example just as your sons will follow yours. And I want to just throw out there, like, keep in mind, this is just my interpretation, but it's my belief that Baelor is just off screen listening to this entire thing, debating whether or not he stands up for Dunk, and I don't think he wanted to, but we'll get to his performance. Yeah, I don't know, it's just really good. I'm not gonna lie, I was so confused for half a second.
I knew it was coming. I was coming.
I was like, is this guy gonna like fall over and die? Like, is he gonna what? I was not ready for what it was going to be. And it's a fart joke. What do you think of that?
I think all the fart and poopy and pee-pee jokes are a little much in the show, but of all of them, this one is the most passable for me because of what happens immediately following. You?
So on one hand, I kind of get that. I do agree that the show handles it well enough that I don't think it's a huge problem. It's just...
Can I play a game with you right now?
Yeah.
Can I guess what you're about to say and you can tell me if I'm right?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you going to say something along the lines of, it is very important in the novella that at this moment, the crowd is for Dunk, so it doesn't make sense for this guy to fart and everyone to laugh, when the whole point is they are for Dunk, not against him?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't like everybody laughing. But as far as like the fart itself, like, again, it's just the book has like people like kind of not take him seriously, like people chatting and like giggling to themselves, but it's not a fart. Like, I don't know, there's just, it's done literally more elegantly. Like, I know that might sound pretentious, but like, it's
he asks people personally and they turn him down.
Yes. And And I don't know. And yeah, like you said, the laugh, everybody laughing at him, I don't like that as an addition. Maybe if they if they like showed the crowd like of common people and they weren't laughing at all, and then it showed like the royalty laughing, I would have loved that.
Yeah, I would love that too. Especially in the novella, he asks a few lords personally and points out how they knew Sir Arlen, and none of them care. And then Baelor showing up, like, it hits that much harder. It's like Baelor cares.
Yep. I'm surprised we showed her, but she's still here.
I'm gonna save this for the episode 6 review, but I have a theory that there was a lot cut from the show. A lot.
Okay. But literally what we just said, like, they do it with her, you know, they show not everyone's laughing and they use her to show that. But like, again, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay. I was just going to say, well, maybe the idea is that, like, it's just the royalty box, and we're just supposed to assume that the commoners don't feel the same way.
And there's no true knight among you!
I mean, like, that's the line. That's the line. And he kills it.
Yeah.
There's just point blank period. He kills it.
Yeah. And this is the point I really am excited to talk about. But we have Baelor coming through the gates, literally right after Dunk ends his speech. Which this is another thing where I didn't think about it from the book, but the book does kind of hint at it. They mention like his sad smile when he makes the decision, but I just want to take note of like his performance when he comes in.
I will take the Duncan side.
Like, so this is kind of like the almost sad look, but when he comes in and says it, like, there's kind of this exasperation to the performance, which it was another thing where at first I was like, oh, like, weird, that's not really how I pictured Baelor saying that. But the more I thought about it, the better it got, where I was like, oh, like, yeah, like, Baelor knows, like, he's important, he knows he's going to be the king. Yeah, he's a good guy, but at the end of the day, this is a hedge knight. It'd be very easy for him to be sitting off to the side thinking, like, I could just do nothing. I could do nothing like all those other lords. And Dunk dies, everyone else goes home, bada bing, bada boom, like, nothing to worry about. Yeah, but the fact that he comes out literally at the end, like, of the speech and hit this expression, it made me go, oh shit, Baelor was probably having second thoughts, because he had to prepare enough to grab his son's armor, but he literally comes in right after the speech, and I was like, oh, he wanted someone else to step up. He didn't want to do it himself, but Dunk's words got to him, and it's such a good moment.
My headcanon is he's hoping someone else is going to step up, and he kind of convinces himself out of doing it with the fart, and then it's the are you, like, so he turns around, walks away from the gate, and then hears the "Are there no true knights among you?" and just, like, dead in his tracks stops and is like, oh shit, I gotta go defend my bro, and then rushes to his side.
Yeah, but what he says here too, and because he says it in book and show, but it made me realize, like, oh, I think that's, like, that was the idea the whole time. I just fucking didn't think about it. But he's like, this man defended the innocent, as all true knights must. And it directly references what Dunk just said, where he's like, a knight defends the innocent. That's all I did. And he's also, Baelor's referring to himself. That's why he does it. He wants to be a true knight. He was inspired by Dunk's words of all people. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the right thing.
The heir to the Iron Throne is inspired by a nameless no one born in Flea Bottom.
Yep, and he defends the innocent because all true knights must.
Yeah, man. Like I said,
damn.
we can go back and forth as to nitpicking why book Baelor show, but like, the core is here. The essence of the character is present, and he's fantastic. It's just it's unbelievable. Like, what a character.
Fucking beautiful, fantastic, and all those people being like, oh, George, nihilistic, Machiavellian. The whole thing that happens here is like someone is like inspired to do the right thing by somebody else doing the right thing, and it's a really it's so cool because it's a, like, the nobility, you know, the literal nobility, the people who are supposed to be noble and righteous, taking a fucking lesson from a hedge knight, someone who's supposed to be nothing.
This is the equivalent of like the president of the United States risking his life for a nameless homeless person.
Yeah, and
Like, personally.
he does it because the homeless person like actually was spitting fire. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, what you said got to me. Like, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's so cool.
Even the background too. Like, we're so locked. We're so locked.
And it makes me forgive them, because I was a little worried with episode 1, like, oh, you kind of, I don't like the idea of shitting on the Game of Thrones theme. I get the idea, like, I don't know. That's a good piece of music. It did represent a good show for a while. The idea that like it's going to be used to make fun of the show kind of worried me. But I like that they bring it back and they're like, no, you just had to wait. You know, just be patient.
Agreed.
We'll bring on the epic music when it's time.
Attack my son. This man protected the innocent. As every true knight must. Let the gods decide if he was right or wrong.
Yeah, and Arion's pissed because like he was about to just get a victory with no work, and his fucking uncle of all people, and that's why it's so good, because like no one would expect fucking Baelor to come in and be like, I will defend this man.
It's so fucking crazy.
God damn. And that's it.
This is my favorite episode. Have you feel any differently now that you've rewatched it?
I will say I noticed more to love this time around. I'd probably give it an 8. Didn't skyrocket for me, but I think I was being a little too mean to it.
Yeah, we kind of said all of our praises. I think for the final episode, I want to set around like a lot of time to talk about it. So whenever we get to episode 6, like I'd like to bracket out at least like 2 to 3 hours just to really talk about the season as a whole and how I feel about the episode. I really do love this episode because it just captures the essence of the story so well, and I just can't ask for more, honestly.
Yeah. I'll say something that kind of threw me by the time it ended. I was like, oh, so we have 2 episodes for the final tilt? That seems like a bit much. I was like, well, we're probably due for a flashback. I'm still expecting like the Flea Bottom flashback at some point.
I think the whole episode's going to be flashback.
And that's the thing. I saw part of a preview. I skip them whenever like they start, but I saw part of it, and like there's like another kid character talking to Dunk, and I got the distinct impression like, oh, we're going to spend a lot of time on flashbacks in the next episode. I really hope it's not one of these cases where the entire thing is a flashback. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should build a bunch of momentum and then like low-key like kneecap it right before the end of a show.
I don't want to say anything because we just need to see it first.
Yeah.
Then we will make our decisions.
Yeah. Like I said, just worried that might be the case, because I don't know. If they could just stretch out the tilt, and that'd actually be a good opportunity to put in a bunch of stuff that is kind of missing right now. But we'll see what they do.
We will. And yeah, I really like this episode, and I guess thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.